Hello guys, welcome to today's stream. I hope all of you are doing well today. Hopefully the music is not too loud for us. So yesterday we had a start to this painting and I'm hoping today we can finish her off. If we have some extra time, I may be able to get some more work done on my other painting, the little one with the coffin. So we may be able to finish this one off if we have enough time. Otherwise, we'll probably just refine some details to my little Medusa over here. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. Today is actually such a nice day outside that it's super sad that I have to be inside, and I really wanted to go out for a walk. So if there's enough daytime hours left after my stream, I'll probably try and go for a nice walk. We've been having such hot weather over here, and so lately it's been hard to find some time where, you know, you want to be outdoors. So yeah. Hello, and Nancy Dagayuki, if I'm saying that correctly. Hopefully I am. Welcome. So I have tons and tons of work to finish off on my little snakies over here. All of them are gonna have different little faces and everything, so hopefully I can give them each a different little personality, you know? I said it right, but I can just call you a Nancy. Okay, that's fair enough. No worries, I'll just call you a Nancy then. Whereabouts are you from exactly? I'm thinking tomorrow we may actually get some more oil painting fit in, because what day is today? Pretty sure. Okay, so it's Tuesday. So yeah, I got 3 streaming days left for the week, and I'm thinking it'll be a good idea if I can get some more oil painting in, you know. Been a while now since I made some progress on my oil paintings. You always tell to streamers that they don't have to say the mouthful. You're from the UK. I have the same issue with my name, to be honest. I mean, every time I go to a stream, they either try to do Katie for some reason, probably because of the, you know, Katie. And so I just tell them, just don't worry, just do Nekka. Nekka's fine. Is it really cold in the UK at the moment? I bet you guys are craving super nice weather. Yeah, it is. Do you guys have snow? How's COVID over there? I heard you guys had like a really bad outbreak last time. Don't really watch the news or keep up with it, so Not sure how that's all going. Hopefully it's settled down. So yeah, hopefully once I have more of these little prints of mine, little watercolor illustrations done, I can add some of these as prints to my Etsy store, because a couple people on Instagram are really keen to get my Drawlloween stuff, and since I haven't colored them yet, you know, I can't put them up in my store, so it would be really nice to be able to finish these up. It snowed a little. Okay. Well, that's nice, I suppose, unless you don't love the snow. To be honest, I think snow is really cool. I feel like if it gets below a certain temperature, you know, you may as well have snow and at least enjoy yourself. I honestly think when I get to the point where all I need to do is add little details back to my drawings, that's when I really get to enjoy them most. It's kind of when everything comes to life, you know, and you just get to enjoy the best part of that drawing. But it's a disaster over there. You have 3 new strains of COVID and people are still going outside. Oh no. That's not good. Don't you guys have like fines or anything if people go outside? Don't they get fined for doing that? It's super sad that, you know, governments have to enforce things like that. I mean, if people were just smart and kept some common sense, things would be fine, but it doesn't really work that way. Yeah, I don't think we've had much of a problem with COVID now for a couple of months. I think last time we had an issue was around like right before Christmas time. I think we had a bit of a false alarm. They thought that we would be having a really bad outbreak, but it didn't end up being bad at all. So that was really good. That was really good news. I mean, you'd rather want a false alarm and have people forced into lockdown than, you know, not going into lockdown and then having things go really bad. But yeah, over here in Adelaide, people are so, you know, I think they just listen to the rules a lot better. We haven't really had a lot of issues where people are refusing to go into lockdown. And like, I guess having the fines really helps. Like, I think it's about $1,000 fine if you, you know, if you're caught somewhere that you're not meant to be. Pretty sure it's about $1,000 fine. So that's not something that's taken lightly, you know? Their excuse is they're going to the store exercising. It's wild. Okay, that's strange. Well, it's really sad, you know, it's really sad that because of that you guys have such a massive problem. I think it's also partly to do with maybe how the government dealt with it early on. You know, people may not feel like really being helpful about it because of how the government didn't take it seriously. I don't know. Just gotta pull up my reference here because I need to try and keep the shading similar to how I had it last year. You think it's similar in the UK? What do you mean? The fine is similar? So do people just not take that seriously? That's crazy. I mean, how many people get fined? Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, you'd imagine a lot of people get fined then. Like, at least, you know, hopefully the government is getting a lot of money from those fines. They can put that to good use, I don't know, helping support the hospitals or buying masks or something. But yeah, I mean, that's nuts. Has your government had to put a lot of support into its people as well? Like, you know, because people can't work, they obviously need to be supported more. You stay at home? Yeah. I mean, it's not only, you know, better for yourself because then you aren't at risk, but I mean, personally, like for me, obviously, I'm not someone who goes out a whole lot. So it wasn't really hard for me to stay in lockdown. But I think a lot of people do enjoy that sort of lifestyle. So for them, it was definitely more of a lifestyle change. But I definitely don't think it's such a big deal. You know, some of us live like this all our lives and it's not that hard. You know, there are lots and lots of harder things in life than just staying at home. It's definitely not the end of the world. I think the definitely the most difficult aspect is if you've got loved ones, you know, that don't live close by, and you know, even especially if they live in a different country and you haven't been able to see them for a long time. I mean, I know a couple of people at my mum's workplace haven't been able to see their kids for about a year now, and that's crazy, you know. They call it stimulus checks in America, but in the UK it's called furlough. Okay. Lockdown sure didn't change your life much. Yeah, are you very much a stay-at-home kind of person, clockwork? It was the same for me, really. I was like, damn, this is great. I actually don't have to go out as much now, you know? I don't have to go to the doctors. I can just call up. I don't have to go to all these different appointments. I can just call. And, like, honestly, you know, and also working from home, there's that. So I think it's definitely opened up the fact that, you know, we're in 2020. Well, now we're in 2021. But I mean, we've got the technology there to be able to essentially do a lot of things remotely. And that alleviates traffic, it alleviates the impact cars have on the environment, basically everything. It alleviates the fact that people spend a lot of time, you know, traveling and all that kind of stuff on the road to work every day, on the road to the doctors, on the road to everything. And I don't know, I think we can get away with a lot less. So I think it would be great if at least people were given the option. You know, some people want to do things in person, other people, you know, maybe on a specific day it's just not convenient or you just don't have the time. Like, imagine having an appointment somewhere and it's about, what, an hour's drive over there, or even half an hour. I mean, that can get up to 3 hours just to make one appointment. And if you can just call, that's only 1 hour of your day. So I think in a lot of cases, there's different ways we can go about things like that. And it can not only save time, but it can save traffic on the road, it can save, yeah, just everybody's time in general. You miss putting up with strangers just a tiny bit? Why, you enjoy the torture of it? Is that what you're meaning? Or you mean you actually enjoy their company or the laughs you get from people being silly or people being funny? Doubly so, since you've been unemployed for a while. What exactly is double? Oh, you mean staying at home, living at home, that lifestyle, yeah. Yeah, that does make sense. Well, I was freelance already before the whole lockdown situation started, so for me, it was very much just like, oh, okay, well, I'm already in this situation where, you know, this is my lifestyle. Working from home is already my lifestyle, so yeah, it wasn't much different for me, and I think it probably is a bit of a transition for people who do work in a workplace environment, and then do need to get used to that. But I think once you've got everything set up, you've got more time for family, you've got more time for, you know, just exercising in the morning instead of, you know, driving to work. You can do some exercise or spend some more time making a healthy meal for yourself or things like that, you know. Things that people in this day and age don't really have time for, I think. And it's because everything is so rushed, you know, we live in a very, very rushed lifestyle. So. Good night. Thank you, Jose. Good night to you too. Not sure if that means you're gonna stick around or you're just saying good evening to us. Strangers can be pleasant sometimes. Yeah. They definitely can. They can be funny and they can be... Actually, like, strangers can actually be nice. Like, I remember going to the chemist one time, which was actually kind of in lockdown time. No, that was definitely before lockdown time. That was 2019. But yeah, I remember meeting this grandma while waiting for my script to be filled, and it was just lovely talking to her about her pet dog. And you know, people don't really take time like that anymore. Things like that are definitely, you know, would be sad to get lost if we never got to see each other in person. But I feel like a lot of mostly work meetings and stuff and lots of appointments don't necessarily need to be done in person. But you like this piece? It's fire? This piece? Is that what you're meaning? Well, I'm glad you like it. I'm definitely much happier that this piece has come out with more subtle colours than last week's piece. It was definitely a bit, you know, I took some time afterwards thinking, what went wrong with this piece? I don't get it. And then after some time I realised the mistakes that had happened. Like, there's nothing wrong with last week's watercolour painting. It's just obviously didn't turn out the way that I envisioned, and it's not quite conforming to the style that I'm trying to get out there, so... What would you guys say? Would you reckon you would like it if working from home became more of an official thing, or would you miss the interaction in the workplace? What do you reckon? Because I know everybody has a different, opinion about that. Everybody feels something different. Different lifestyles and whatnot. You don't think it's ever going to be normal again, working in the workplace? Yeah, I think there's, like, especially, I've had conversations with a lot of people around me as well who've said that, yeah, they don't think that it's ever going to go back to normal. I don't know. I think there's still a large percentage of people who don't appreciate the way that it's being done during lockdown, who are really frustrated by it. Like, some people get all their socialization at work and don't have it outside of work, so for them it would be incredibly difficult, I guess, transitioning from that, because they suddenly find themselves all alone at home. Do you think it would be wonderful if working from home became an option for more people? Yeah, I think I agree with that, Clockwork. For me personally, that would suit my lifestyle so well. For me, I think I'm very much someone who's definitely more productive at home when I'm working from home. I feel like the workplace has so many distractions, and I don't know, it just feels like I don't get as much done, probably because the whole driving to work, and then you get to work, and then your mind takes time to sort of transition into that as well. So yeah, I don't know, I definitely prefer the whole work from home scenario. Too much people are paranoid because of COVID. Yeah, but then I don't know if COVID would necessarily be the reason it doesn't go back to normal, because, COVID, we've got the vaccine now. It's only a matter of time before we get rid of it, unless obviously all the different strains keep popping up or whatever. So, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. One moment to see me directly before sleeping. This is the Medusa. Sorry, I didn't understand that whole sentence, Jose. Yes, this is my Medusa painting. So it's the same one we worked on yesterday. I don't think you were here yesterday, not from memory, but yeah, we've done some watercolor for this one, and currently I'm adding some of the line work back in. So yeah, just adding the details back in, trying to get the drawing to look like it was in the sketch. So this is the fun part. This is the part where I get to really play around and enjoy myself. A flexible system would be cool. Work from home some days, show up at the office when you want the social interaction. Yeah, that I think would be perfect. Maybe smaller offices, would also be beneficial for companies to not have to have such large workplaces and everything. And, people could bring their own equipment to work if they need equipment. And yeah, then they could come into the workplace if they really need that face-to-face, otherwise stay at home. Have it be More of an option, definitely. There's a new there's a new strain of COVID, and it apparently counteracts the vaccine. What do you mean counteracts it? That's no good. What exactly does that mean? I haven't heard of that. Gosh, I need to watch the news more. I got no idea what's happening out there. But then who really cares, right? When you only live inside, you don't really go out, does it really matter? Yesterday you couldn't be here, but it's good seeing it now. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you made it today. That's definitely awesome having you here, Jose. Really appreciate when you get to turn up. It always makes my day when some of you guys, you know, even if you can't make it every day, or, you know, you still pop in once a week or, you know, every 2 weeks or whenever, and it's lovely seeing familiar faces back here. Always enjoy that. I feel like I'm just jumping from area to area right now. Thank you for the follow, Zierov. Really appreciate that. Please feel free to introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and, you know, if you'd like to share your art with us, let me know. Let me know if you're happy for us to share that on stream. If not, that's totally fine too. I'll just have a look at it privately. It's more stronger, so when you get the vaccine and your immune system would handle the original strain, but not this new strain. Okay. So if you get the vaccine, you're more likely to struggle when you get this new strain. Is that what I'm understanding correctly? Maybe that's why there's so much concern over getting the vaccine. Because people are worried about that. Yeah? Okay. That's strange, yeah. Really strange. Because yeah, I've been really wondering why people are so against getting the vaccine. I mean, me personally, I don't really have concerns over it. You know, I mean, obviously every vaccine does have issues here and there, and yeah, just, I mean, people get vaccines for measles and all kinds of other things regularly every day. So yeah, it's strange. There's been several cases where people are dying from the vaccine. Ah, okay. That makes sense then. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard a lot about the vaccine, just Just that people are getting incredibly upset that others don't want to get it. So but you know, it's early days as well, and I actually think it's incredible how quickly they were able to go through all the testing and get a vaccine in the first place. I mean, it's really amazing, definitely. I always think dreadlocks are some of the coolest kind of hairstyles. I never do it because it's such high maintenance, but it's always so cool. You don't watch the news because it's too jarring at this time? Yeah, I think so. Like, that's definitely a big reason I don't watch the news either, because I don't know, you just watch it and you just get depressed about how bad everything is. And like, it's not necessarily true, it's just they obviously show you the bad things because they want people to, you know, do something about it. But obviously watching the news, it is going to be more negative than positive 90% of the time. So you do have to take that into account, but yeah, it does make it hard, especially if you're, you know, coming home from a day at work and you just want to relax, you just want to enjoy your day, and all you get to see is how awful things are all around the world. It's like it could come to life at any moment. What do you mean, what could come to life? Oh, my drawing? Aw, thanks, Jupiter. That means a lot. Yeah. I do love how my characters, you know, it sometimes, I mean, this is obviously one that was made from a prompt, so it's not one of the characters I imagined up. Not an original character, so to speak. But yeah, I think that's one of the most beautiful aspects of art for me, is being able to bring characters to life and put them to paper, bring them into this world, like merge the imaginary and the real world. And that's so amazing. What type of pencil is that? This is a Ricoh pencil from Germany. Try and see if I can make it focus for you. It's got a little logo up there. It doesn't focus very often. It used to be shiny, actually. It used to be super shiny like this, but because it's brass, pretty sure it's brass, I think, it gets really faded when you keep handling it, so it doesn't stay this shiny very long. This is the 0.7 lead, and you can see it's still got the engraved logo on there from Kawiko. So yeah, I've got that one, and then this is the 0.5 lead one. I'll show you one of my other pencils. I really love this one. You like the worn look? So do I. I love the worn look. I feel like it really adds to it, you know? This is one of my other pencils. This one's actually by Tom Dixon. It's quite a bit heavier, but it actually is so comfortable. When I got it, I thought, oh my goodness, this is gonna be one of those decorative pencils, you know, that you only put on your desk for people to look at, but it's definitely not. Like, it's got really nice mechanisms to get the lead out. I absolutely love this pencil. It is so awesome. So yeah, very heavy though. So when I switch over to this pencil from my Kawiko ones, I have to get used to it because you have a fair amount of muscle memory when you're working with pencils, and yeah, you need to remember not to press as deep. So yeah, that is a beautiful piece of machining. It really is. It's amazing. Hello, Sasaki. How are you? Welcome back. Thank you so much for showing your cool work to us yesterday. I loved it. That was so awesome to be able to go through all your stuff. I cannot wait to catch one of your workshop streams. I hope it's in a good time zone for me. You use Zebra Delgarad 0.5? Okay, I gotta check that out. Zebra Delgarad. However the heck you say that. That seems pretty crazy. Let me see if I can have a look at that. Ah, okay. That looks like a really nice pencil as well. Yeah. Very handy. Definitely love it. It's 11:44 at night, so you're just dropping by to show your support. Welcome back, Eggs. It definitely has been a while. I'm so sorry. I am planning to do at least one evening stream from now on. Trying to do it on Sundays, but a lot of the time I spend my weekends going out, and then yeah, I get home being really tired, so it can end up being difficult to stream after a weekend like that. Well, I hope you have a good sleep and a good rest, and hopefully a good day at work tomorrow. You're on mobile for Twitch right now. Autocorrect be doing the most. That's alright. Much appreciated. It's a tough time slot for you Aussies, so no worries. You think it's 5 AM for us guys. Well, don't laugh, but there are a lot of times when I'm still up at 5 AM, so I actually used to stream at 5 AM, so don't consider it impossible for me to show up. I'll definitely give it a shot. Do you stream on weekends? Because most of the time on weekends, I am actually, you know, up a lot later. Definitely wouldn't recommend it though. Staying up so late. Wouldn't recommend it at all. So I need to try and add some folds back into her clothes. You're just Tuesday, Thursday as of now, but trying to get some more weekends in. Okay. Yeah, so those would definitely be days that I don't sleep as late. So probably won't be able to attend those streams then. But yeah, it would be awesome if you could at some point do weekend streams, and I'll do my best. Elasti, welcome! Glad to have another Vivi follower on here. You fell in love again today. As an artist yourself, do I struggle with falling in love easily? What do you mean? Falling in love with art or people or animals or I mean depends on what, I think. I think that's a very broad question. I think falling in love with art just comes naturally, you know? Like one of those things that you're just kind of born into, you know? Yeah. Like, who can't obsess over art? Really happy for you though. Oh, people and art. Well, like I said, falling in love with art is just like, I mean, I feel like being in love with art is in some ways a bit of a toxic relationship because, you know, you end up being so disappointed over and over and having all your expectations constantly crushed, but then at the same time you get these really intense highs and you kind of end up, I don't know, living through all the torture of it just for those great moments, those thrilling adrenaline kind of moments. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like art makes you do so many sacrifices in real life, and you know, if you really want to live it, if you really want to I guess invest everything in your art, you're going to have so many other areas of your life in some ways, yeah, I guess just affected by it. And, you know, finances, things like that. Art is definitely not something that earns a lot of money. So, yeah, you end up I guess, sacrificing stability, sacrificing, that safety net a lot for the sake of having art. And so in that sense, I really do think that art is a bit of a, I guess a toxic relationship that you end up delving into, but getting a lot out of as well. You know, it's very, very thrilling, very satisfying, and I think you don't understand that until you really get into making art and get into that creative flow constantly over and over. But yeah, there's definitely been a lot of times when I used to think, oh my goodness, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself, you know? But you can't, it's addictive. Once you get into it, you really struggle to get out of it again. And so yeah, I guess love with people is different. You know, love with people is something that has to be earned. I don't think that I believe in love just being a feeling. I very much think it's something that, I don't know, you get to see over time. And so, yeah, I think it's like a lot of people, especially these days, just want to go into love thinking that once they've met that person that makes them feel a certain way, that everything's just going to be fine and, you know, be happy. They just need to find the one. They need to find that chemical feeling that people always talk about. I don't think that exists. Definitely. Love is a consistent decision-making process. It's consistently choosing the other person and also having them choose you. And I think it's a bit of a pattern over time. You know, you get to see, okay, well, this person really cares about me because they've consistently made choices that align with pursuing me. They've consistently made choices that align with my best interest, or, you know, they're willing to make sacrifices for the sake of our relationship, and also vice versa. And if you can tell that both parties have consistently been doing that, I think that's when you know that it's actually love. But obviously, love is something between humans that needs to be maintained. It's, you know, it's not just a fleeting feeling and then, oh, now you know you're good for life, you know. It needs to be proven, and it needs to be proven consistently over time. So I don't know. I don't think I really believe in, I guess, falling in love. It's definitely very much a proving thing, I guess. Now, when it comes to animals, on the other hand, I mean, we all know that everybody just falls in love with every single animal they meet, and we all end up in a toxic relationship with our pets at one point or another. And I think those are the only toxic relationships that should ever exist and are somewhat healthy. Let's just say that. Somewhat healthy. But yeah, I'm very, very happy for you that, you know, you've fallen in love again. I think it definitely unlocks a very exciting part of life, you know, getting to enjoy that with someone else and getting to pour into someone. I think we're definitely designed to love and designed to, you know, pour our lives into someone else and enrich theirs and build each other up. I mean, we all have so many different personalities, and I feel like we complement each other. You know, if we go through life alone, we're always going to deal with those lacks in one area of life or another, but finding people that can support us and ease those moments is definitely going to make for a much more, I think, balanced lifestyle. Definitely. So I really hope for your sake that it works out really well. I think sometimes the relationships we often don't see coming end up being the ones that can work out the best. You feel better now after talking to me. You no longer see falling in love as a burden. It's beautiful, like I say. Yeah, definitely. I think, I mean, obviously falling in love can seem like, oh, now you've got this this thing that you need to maintain, but it's not really like that. I mean, I think once you really love each other, you're going to want that. You're going to want to give to each other. You're going to want to pour into each other. And I think, you know, for people who, especially if, you know, if you're not with somebody, I mean, I think the healthiest way is if you're not feeling alone, but you're wanting to love somebody, wanting to give. I think that's the most healthy approach. You just love so deeply. Well, that's great. Definitely. Feeling a lot is never a bad thing. Feeling a lot is, you know, what's good on this earth. I think far too many people become jaded and no longer feel a lot, you know, and I feel like, yeah, you're probably going to take a massive risk and there's that chance that you'll get hurt and everything, but at the end of the day, I think if you hold back, you're more likely to make things go bad than, yeah, if you pour everything in. You know, if you obviously feel safe and you feel that that person has consistently kept giving to you and, you know, you want to keep giving to them, then go for it, you know, go for it and give it your everything. Because life is really short, you know. And I don't think there's anything as beautiful as two people who feel like they don't belong anywhere, but getting to feel that within each other. I think that's really special. And that's something that you only really get to enjoy with someone like a soulmate, you know? Yeah, what if you're in love with multiple people? Oh my goodness, I don't know. I think you've got a bit of a problem then. I think if you're in love with multiple people, you probably need to take a step back and figure it out, I suppose. Unless you're like one of those groups that enjoy polygamy, which is not for everyone, but I'm sure there's those groups of people. Personally, I think, you know, once you start loving each other, you naturally start wanting to be exclusive. You love everyone? Well, like a general love is obviously different. Definitely very different. This is the little one with a bit of a mean streak. So I gave all of them a bit of a different personality. Some are more cheeky, others are a little bit more subdued. All of them are kind of different in their own ways. Looking pretty good. Thank you, Shermany. Really appreciate that and welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a really good week. Hello, Dr. Chronic. How are you? Is Charles streaming by any chance? Started out good. I saw from getting a vaccine and just got a chicken dinner on PUBG. What exactly does that mean? Sorry, I don't play PUBG. Nah, he's not? Okay. Is this his day off, or do you think he's just taking a break? Yeah, you think I just made you realize your ideas about love are more on the radical side, so you'll dive deeper into that realm privately. Thank you for my kind words, though. It's nice to talk it out. No worries. Yeah, I hope I haven't made you feel bad about that. I mean, obviously, you know, everybody's got their own ways of seeing things. I don't think anything you feel is necessarily wrong. You know, definitely just go with whatever you feel and figure it out. I'm sure you'll discover your own path. Day off? Okay. First out of 100 players. Okay, well that's good, isn't it? You've been drinking, watching funny videos, and didn't know I was streaming. Okay. Well, I'm glad you came to say hi. It's awesome. Loving how this Medusa's turning out. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely a lot happier with this one than last week's watercolor piece, so very excited to see it getting done. Back to waking up at 6 a.m. Oh my goodness, how do you do that? So what is this piece for? A book? No, this piece is just one of last year's Drawlloween pieces that I did, and it's just for a print that I'm going to add to my store, so nothing really special. You know, it's obviously not one of my original characters. It's based on the mythology, so yeah, just a nice piece to add to my store. So every Drawlloween we do different prompts, and it goes for every day of October. You have to do a different prompt, and this is one of the sketches I created during Drawlloween. So yeah, next year, well this year, during October, I'll be taking part again. I think it's gonna be my 3rd year taking part, if I'm remembering correctly. So that'll be pretty sick. Can't wait for that. This drawing, yeah. So yeah, it's basically just it's not really my story. It's just the Medusa that is based on Greek mythology, and so yeah, I guess I gave her a vintage outfit, a vintage feel, which is why I've given her this style of clothing, and in my little caption here, she's having a bit of a bad hair day. So yeah, she's trying to brush them all into shape, but they're not really listening to her. So yeah. You woke up before 5 a.m. last week, so you're jolly, but this week you're 2 to 11 p.m. Wait, that's when you're waking up. What do I think of using iPads or other technology to draw over pencil and pens? Dr. Chronic, I'm a huge fan of that. I do it really often. It used to be my main style to colour my sketches. The reason I switched over is just because if you see the bottom area here, you can see the beautiful flecking that the paint naturally creates. You can really, like, you can do everything, but you'll struggle to get that beautiful paint to give an organic feel. And so that was the major reason why I switched over back to watercolor. But a lot of my drawings in my store, you know, my alien drawing that I posted, the last post on Instagram, was actually done in Procreate. So I scanned it in and then I added the color afterwards in Procreate. And, you know, my mermaid, my tiny mermaid drawing was done that way. A couple of others were done that way as well. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. I don't see anything wrong with using digital media to get the look that you want. I think in the end, it's just about, well, what look do you want? And the question is more, why? Why do you use a certain medium, you know? And it can be so overwhelming, you know, knowing what to choose, because these days we have so many options. Oh, thank you so much for the sub, Shermany. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you, it means a lot. You've been insanely supportive to my art journey already, so I am so grateful, thank you. Oh, you're a huge fan of mythology? Sad story behind Medusa? Yeah, there really is. I obviously haven't read the whole story, but I did hear that she died, she got killed. But I don't think her sisters got killed though. Only Medusa did, I think. You can just see a young Medusa book. Each snake with a different personality, kind of like the Seven Dwarfs. Yeah, that would make a great book actually. But yeah, I definitely would like to, you know, elaborate on a story about her. And I think, you know, I'm obviously currently working on my story about Humpty Dumpty. So once I finish that, I think I'm going to start more consistently dropping out other books based on more of my characters, you know. I'll probably do multiple books after that. So yeah, it's just a matter of finishing one, getting through it, you know. You see Medusa as a vengeful spirit? Oh, okay. Why is that? Why was she a vengeful spirit? Was she, or is that just your view on her? How long on average does one take? A drawing like this, are you meaning? Because essentially all my pieces take different amounts of time, so it depends. It depends on which one. It depends on the complexity of the background. You know, so a piece like this, if I wasn't doing this on stream and, you know, chatting in between and everything, I'd probably guess around, like, drawing it and colouring it, probably 5 to 6 hours. So obviously because it's on stream, it does end up taking a fair amount of time. But, you know, it's part of the fun. Part of the fun is being on here, talking about art, sharing it all with you guys, seeing your work. So I don't mind that too much. I'm not super rushed, you know, to get things finished quickly. Sometimes I actually get sad when I have to, you know, stop a drawing and I have to move on to the new thing, and I miss that one. Like, they become so fun, especially near the end, and you don't want to stop, you don't want to move on to the next thing. I was just trying to train them so she can make friends, but she keeps freezing people. Okay. That's true. Things on stream take far longer, all us distractions. Yeah, it does. I mean, and I know a lot of artists who find that, you know, creating, especially painting on streams, can be way too distracting for them, but I mean, you know, what can you do? What can you do? It does make you finish projects much more. Okay, got it. Is it just because you find it motivating to have an audience watching you, or is it more that some parts of the process are a little bit more boring and so having a distraction on the side helps you work through it? She was known for her beauty and the gods were cruel. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good at all. Yeah, I'm definitely not familiar with the story, Dr. Chronic. Like, you know, part of the reason is I'm obviously not a fan of snakes to begin with. Let's just say I got some resentment towards them for numerous things. But, I mean, when the prompt came up last Drawlloween, I definitely got really excited because I never had the chance to draw her, and I felt like I really wanted to give her a bit of a dreadlock look. So yeah, I got really interested in her story. So I read up about her a little bit, but not enough to know that I fully understand her story. My voice gives you ASMR. Okay. Yeah, apparently everybody says that. I've got no idea why. Never thought of it that way. So. I went to check out an ASMR stream here on Twitch and it was like, oh my goodness, this is the weirdest thing ever. Like, I imagine if you've got really good headphones that you could get something out of it, but I don't know, it was really weird. It was the first time I got to see it and it was really weird. Have I seen Clash of Titans? That's a good question. It's very familiar, the name's very familiar, but I can't envision anything, so I'm gonna have to say no. Yeah, sometimes if something isn't coming out the way you planned, you'll put it aside. Streaming it forces you to finish it all the way. Yeah, definitely. I feel that way too. A lot of my past pieces as well, you know, I may not have finished them if it wasn't for being on stream, because, you know, I feel like, oh, we've got a video going, we may as well finish the whole thing and just be done with it, you know? But a lot of the time I feel like personal pieces, you often end up going, oh, you know, this isn't going where I want it to. And sometimes you surprise yourself. Sometimes those things do actually turn out better in the end, you know? So it helps keeping at it sometimes. Depends what it is. You're about 40, so you've seen both versions. Ah, okay. Yeah, sometimes if something isn't coming out the way you planned, you'll put it aside. The main thing is you miss from university is being surrounded by artists while you work, feeding off each other's energy. You're totally spot on. That is actually, like, since I started streaming, that is the closest I've come to having a similar feeling. You know, rating other streamers, being part of other streams, things like that, sharing your artwork with other artists, and, you know, a lot of the time you become close friends with people, not only on Instagram but on Twitch as well. And I find that to be incredibly supportive, you know, because you're sort of reminded, I think, that it's okay to be, you know, so engrossed in your passion. So it's okay to be so lost sometimes and not feel like you know where your work's going. And I think only artists sort of understand what that feels like. In one myth, Poseidon attacked Medusa at Athena's shrine, and Athena, victim, blamed and cursed her to be a Gorgon. Ah, got it. You have a painting on your wall next to you that's been in progress since 2013. Oh my goodness. Don't worry though, because I've got quite a few pieces like that, you know, have been sitting around. Like this one, I'm currently working on this one for my mum, and I think I started this painting probably late 2018, I think. I would say late 2018. And yeah, it's still going. I obviously started going over in oils and everything, so I have to finish it this year. It's like one of my main goals. I have to get it done. It's a good added pressure to push through. It really is, yeah. Like sometimes streaming can actually be a little distracting, especially if you're working on something that's incredibly detailed or, you know, a little bit out of your comfort zone. You maybe haven't quite delved into that area, and so you're starting to learn how to do it. I feel like trying to stream as well can be incredibly distracting then. But if you're doing things that are well within your comfort zone and, you know, you're not pushing anything too crazy, then streaming is actually incredibly helpful, you know. Keeps you there consistently, keeps you motivated, keeps you focused. So yeah. Also surrounds you with people who have similar interests to you, which is great. So yeah. And I think also, you know, artists can be extremely introverted in general. Like, not all artists are, but I think in general, most artists are definitely introverted. And so it can be really difficult to maintain a consistent approach where you not only present your artwork to others, but get some critique, share it, talk about it, all that kind of thing. Just feel like you're part of a living artistic community, you know. I think that's incredibly important. That's been the biggest benefit for you, finding other craftsmen who are into what you are, as none of your friends are. Yeah, how have you gone with that on Twitch? How do you find a lot of people doing that on Instagram as well? Because yeah, you've definitely got a very, very niche kind of approach to, you know, the creative circles. So I imagine it would be incredibly difficult for you to find like-minded individuals. It seems in life these days that it's all about rushing things to make you happy, but in reality, it doesn't make you happy, you just feel impatient. Yeah, totally, totally. And I think, especially for me last year, I was very much going about art in a way where, I need to finish X amount of things in this amount of time, I'm not being productive enough and all that kind of stuff. And it loses the feeling you get from art. It loses that passion for you. And so, yeah, definitely end of last year I started changing the way that I went about being creative, and definitely made a lot of changes in general, I think. And it became a lot easier to actually let the art bloom in and of itself rather than trying to rush things out, So I totally agree. Rushing art is not something you can do. I think I mentioned in my last stream as well, art isn't the kind of thing you can just, you've got 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, quickly push out more progress on a drawing. It takes about a good, I think, 20 minutes to sort of feel like your mind has dissociated from the real world and you're getting lost in that piece again. And you can't really just go from, doing the laundry, cleaning the kitchen, and then hopping into art for 10 minutes and hopping back out. It doesn't work that way. It's never going to work that way. Five hours later, and that art piece still won't be done. Yeah, exactly. Why rush something good? Yeah, definitely. And I think, that's also the way that I felt about a lot of my paintings. And I tend to be really perfectionistic about them, Whereas if I wanted to, I could push out a whole painting in a month, one every month. And I could finish it, and it would look good, but it wouldn't look the way I had it in my head. It wouldn't look perfect, it wouldn't look amazing, because I've essentially robbed it of that dedicated time. To get it looking that amazing requires a lot more time investment and a lot more thought process, So yeah, I definitely agree. It's not something you should ever rush, and it's not, I know when it comes to quotes and illustration and that kind of thing, they obviously do calculate, well, how long is this going to take you? How much money do you get by the hour? But when it comes to art, it's really, really difficult to, be affordable like that. It really isn't great. And I think that's when, it comes to a point where you have to realize, okay, well, this is a work commission. I need to make it affordable for them. So you can't give that piece your full dedication. You can't, spend 50 hours on something you're only being paid for 3 hours. But when you're doing personal pieces, I think that's where it's really important to not rush, to definitely give it the time of day. And then, you'll be able to create a portfolio where people can see, okay, well, if we want to pay a little bit more, this is what we could get. This is the level of detail in work. art and money isn't a good convo. It never is. It is one of those very, very fickle things. Yeah. It's a huge struggle. I mean, so often I see artists that have done work for, let's say, a children's book company, and you know, you can see that the work isn't quite up to their normal level of detail or their normal level of quality. But I mean, it's still great. It made you step away from art for a year now. Okay. Just because it felt too rushed or too like not not free enough. It's like Lord of the Rings versus The Hobbit. I see. I wouldn't understand what that reference means. Haven't exactly watched, Lord of the Rings, sorry. At least you don't share it or sell it. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing your art. I actually went through years and years where I, haven't shared my art anywhere online, so it was very new to me at first. Outrage you? Outrageous? Yeah, I know, I know. I think it's just because I know that it's a really good movie and I always want to watch it. I put so much pressure on watching them that I always want to watch them with, people I really care about, it on good speakers, on a good setup. So I never get around to watching it because that perfect circumstance is just never around, and so yeah. Maybe you should do that this weekend. Definitely. Should make a note of that. Because I know I'll enjoy them. I'll definitely love them. I have seen The Hobbit though, so. There's a cool Hobbit cartoon. Okay. People just demanding great art, but want it at cheap prices. Hurt your pride. Yeah, well, this is why I just don't sell originals. Because I spend tons and tons of hours on my originals, and yeah, if I wanted to ask as much as the amount of hours I put into those pieces, probably they wouldn't sell, and so yeah, at this point I'm just not selling originals. It's just not worth it for me. Whereas selling prints is something that I frequently buy prints from other artists because I know I can afford it. I know that they get quite good support out of it as well. I'm not doing them in by buying it because they had to price their art too low just to sell. So I actually prefer buying prints from artists in general just for that reason alone. Probably only because I am an artist myself and I know how the industry works or that kind of thing. So, I'm always very careful not to want to do an artist in, even though they try to sell it for low prices. I don't like doing that. What would you guys say? Do you prefer traditional art or do you prefer digital art? It's like someone who writes a book and sells the original copy of it. Yeah, exactly. Like it actually hurts me knowing I own the original piece an artist made. That's probably just me. I don't know. But I kind of feel like they should own it, you know? They should get to be the one who gets to rescan it later down the track. You know, if we get better technology, all that kind of stuff. I really do feel like I actually prefer knowing the artist owns the original, but there's definitely a large portion of people who do like owning the original piece, and I understand why. You know, they like to see the textured brushstrokes on something, or you know, the organic line work on a piece of paper. So it does make sense. You like traditional art, you love original pieces. Okay, yeah. So why, so you'd say you prefer traditional art? Why, what is it you prefer? Just the organic look of traditional art over digital, or what would you say is the reason you prefer it? Because I know my reasons. I think I feel like, you know, obviously I have some of my favorite digital artists like Loish and Sergi Broza are definitely two very prominent digital artists that I'm obsessed with. I love their work, but I often find that, not them in particular, but a lot of digital artists struggle to mix colors properly because they rely so much on being able to go over and over and over, and having all the colors at their disposal kind of means that they don't end up making those happy little mistakes that traditional artists end up experimenting with. And so the work can often end up feeling like it lacks a little bit of that artistic expressiveness. So yeah, like, you know, the way Loish treats her digital art, she obviously doesn't refine everything perfectly, you know, she leaves little rough edges here and there and things like that. So yeah, I think if you're going to do it like that, obviously your work's going to be incredibly amazing, but in general, because you can keep like zooming in digital art and you can keep adding layers, often people end up over rendering their digital work. Whereas like it's a lot harder to over render a traditional piece. So I think in general I prefer how those turn out. You don't mind either, as long as it expresses what they did. Yeah, same. As long as they've executed it properly, I don't mind. I'm, you know, not someone who looks down on digital art or some medium or another. Either way, as long as the artist has used it appropriately and obviously it suits the kind of art that they're trying to make, yeah, I'm definitely all for, you know, using whatever medium you feel free with. You got tired of seeing the same posters of Andy Warhol or images of the Eiffel Tower on people's walls? Where'd you see that? I never saw those. Or Baby Yoda? Well, I'm not like Charles. I don't totally detest Baby Yoda. I do agree with Charles though, you know, like people jump on every bandwagon, especially on Instagram, and they just end up drawing whatever they think is going to give them likes, whatever they think is going to ride some kind of wave. And often at times I agree with Charles, you know, they don't put any of their personality into a piece. So it's sad, it really is. And I prefer to see their original characters a lot more than, seeing them do some kind of fan art or something. You're an oil painter and you feel the same way about digital art. Yeah, exactly, Robstead. And I can imagine, being an oil painter, you totally get that, that feeling, that special looseness, that wildness that you can get from art. And I feel like it's easily lost in digital art, really easily lost. Ooh, oil paintings. Yeah, oil paintings are the best. Hi, Rin Marigold, welcome back. It's lovely to have you here. How has your week been going? You tease Charles about Baby Yoda often for a laugh. Same. I like bringing it up every time he raids, or every time I pop in his stream. I like to talk about Baby Yoda just to sort of, just to give him a bit of a tease. You like original works or something that you won't see on your neighbor's wall. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely unique stuff. It's about being original. Yeah, it definitely is. Oh my goodness, my plush bunny corns. You checked my store? Yeah, my mum made those. They're based off of one of my characters, so yeah, I asked my mom if she could make them come to life as plush toys, and she did. She's amazing like that. Digital art isn't as original since a lot of the time someone created what you use to master what you think what something should be. Yeah, I also think that, Loish kind of set a bit of a trend when it comes to digital art, and a lot of people jumped onto that because it's easy. Not easy per se, but they thought it's easy because everybody had an iPad or everybody had a Wacom tablet, and they didn't need to go put effort into getting their paint materials together, so they could just sit on their couch and quickly slap together a painting. But what they didn't realize is the effort that Loish put into those pieces. What made it unique was, pulling back the restraints that the digital art posed on her and pushing more of that expressiveness, different color combinations, all that kind of thing, not rendering everything, too much and that sort of thing. And eventually we started seeing a ton of artists jumping on that digital art bandwagon. And nowadays, lots and lots of pieces are doing digital art, people are doing digital art, and I think it's just getting really common, to be honest. If you're going to do digital art, don't just try and copy Loish, or don't just, don't use the normal ordinary colors. Try and do something different. Try and, I don't know, give us something that we haven't seen before. Especially don't try and over-render, because I feel like that's where a lot of things go wrong. We lose the sense of art. Unfortunately, with platforms like Instagram, you have to follow trends to be able to grow sometimes. You're doing well, a little sick, but you're okay. Oh no, well, that's not good, but I hope you're going to recover really well. And you're definitely right. You do have to follow trends, I guess, sometimes, but I feel like those trends are going to come and go, Why follow them? Well, on the other hand, you can grow your own personality, you can grow something that's you and become known for it, and that's going to be so much more valuable than, I don't know, riding some trend. And why would I follow someone who does digital art when I can just go follow Loish, who's the original creator of that style? I'm rather just going to follow Loish. I'm not going to want to see, someone who does something similar. I want to follow them because they're doing something different, not because they're similar to Loish, or I can push out work that looks similar. I want to see work that's them, that's different, that's something else, Happy accidents? Yeah. You're using a screenless Wacom as a mouse pad right now. Okay. That's an interesting mouse pad. Trends are meh. Trends are so meh. I am so done, like, hopping onto art bandwagons, or not that I've really done that much, but I think, yeah, I'm just done trying to follow art for that reason. I'm now at the point where I look for artists because I don't see other art like theirs. I look for artists who are trying new things, who try to push their own personality out. You know, I follow people if they have maybe only 200 followers. If your work is great and you have only 200 followers on Instagram, I'm gonna follow you. But, you know, if you have, I literally see people who have like 300,000 followers on Instagram, and great, you know, they push out a painting every day. They push out the same thing. They push out something boring. It's just the same character every day, executed, fits the algorithm, makes the algorithm happy, gets a lot of likes. I'm not gonna follow you. I'm never gonna buy your work. I'm never gonna follow you. It's boring, you know? So, I don't know. I don't want to be known as one of those artists who gets to, you know, nail the algorithm or something. And, you know, I'm happy for those people that obviously, you know, they seem to do well. Who knows how many sales they actually get from their art, you know, once you start actually delving into, you know, true statistics. Who knows, maybe it's just fooling Instagram's algorithm really well, but people don't really find it like to be good work. People don't actually want it. I'm sure a lot more people feel very similar to me and actually want to see unique stuff. You know, for example, like Charles, he doesn't ride any bandwagon. He doesn't, you know, draw this fan art just to get a bunch of likes. He draws a new creative piece every single day, and you never see the same things from him. You never see him just going, okay, well, I need to do a drawing for Instagram today, so let's do something simple and just get a post out. You never see him doing that. And that's why, you know, you're much happier to wait a few days for a new post rather than just see a meh post every day of the week. That's just gonna clog up your feed eventually. You're bad at digital art. It's better used this way. What's better used this way? Oh, your Wacom tablet's better used that way. Well, I'm sure it'll make a really good, you know, a really good mouse pad. Because they're pretty amazing for mouse pads. For you, oil paintings are all about experimenting with colour and brushwork, and it feels so much harder to do with digital. Yeah, I mean, I think the other aspect is also that, you know, your brush strokes when you're doing it digitally, they're all going to be the same because the brush doesn't have, you know, it only has so much variation to it. Whereas with a traditional brush, depending on the way you hold it, it's always going to have a different impact on the paper or canvas. And so you're going to get a different stroke every time. So you can experiment with how you hold the brush and how much paint you add, how much water you add, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of that gets lost when you're doing digital art. So you have to compensate for it, obviously. And I think that's why digital art is so hard, because, you know, people think it's easy. Oh, you do traditional art, that's so hard. But I actually think if you want to make good digital art, it's incredibly hard. You have to put a lot of effort in to try and fight the medium to bring back that artistic expressiveness. Otherwise, it's going to look photoshopped, it's going to look rendered, and it won't look like good work. I would like Tom thinks he's just a strange guy with random stuff. Uses voices and computer programs to bring his art to life. Okay, does he do like 3D pieces or something? Oh, he does it all? Hard to explain? Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to check out his stuff then. Yeah, if you want to share that in Discord, I'd love to check it out. Your net can't handle both? Oh, you don't watch him much since he's on the same time as me or Charles, and your net can't handle both. He's a digital art person, but creative. Okay. That's awesome then. Sad that you can't get to watch him a lot though. Authenticity is key always. Charles may not be everyone's cup of tea, but he's unquestionably original. Yeah, I'm sure he's maybe not everyone's cup of tea. I guess, you know, I'm definitely someone who's more drawn to art that is quite eccentric and, you know, free and really pulls out your imagination. So for me, he like falls 100% into my kind of, you know, my preferred art hemisphere, but yeah, no, I do understand that though. He's hey Robin, how are you? Welcome back. Thank you so much for subbing the other day though. Thank you. I really hope you know how much it means. And his personality. Oh my goodness, yeah, like we had this this one guy at my uni. He was so shy. Like even more shy around girls, but he was the most amazing artist. Like I always looked at his work and was like, damn, you know, he can draw anything in almost any style and it just comes out amazing. But he put so many hours into his pieces, so that's probably why they ended up, you know, coming out so good. But he had the most eccentric personality, very, very similar to Charles. So I think Charles really reminds me of him in a lot of ways. No one ever knows what happened to him back at uni because he didn't have social media, didn't read his emails. He was like the most technologically incapable person and the most antisocial person you could know. But yeah, his artwork was astounding. It was really sad because sometime after we graduated, my teachers had a job offer available, and they messaged him on Facebook, they tried to email him, they asked some of us to sort of try to get in touch with him because they were really desperate to, give him that job opportunity, but no one could get a hold of him. And then months later, he checked his Facebook messages, like his Facebook posts where the teachers had tried to get his attention, and obviously that would have been too late, but he said that he was really sorry, but he didn't see it. Who are we talking about? It was just a guy at my uni who was a really, really good artist, and yeah, he was amazing, but terrible at marketing himself, terrible at, social interaction, but what he lacked in those areas, he was unbelievable with, in terms of, being creative. Like, he was a powerhouse. Whenever we had projects, you never wanted to put your work up in class next to his because it would look like you hadn't done any work. He would come to class having 3 or 4 projects done when the rest of us only had, 1 or 2 drawings done. He had a whole project done. What are his socials? You'd love to check him out? Well, that's the thing, Natural. He doesn't have any socials. He doesn't advertise himself. You had some classmates like that. You need to be good at so many things to make it as a successful artist. Yeah, you really do. It's sad. I think a lot of people don't realize, how versatile you need to be as an artist, and even more so as an illustrator. There's like a lot of demands on you to, you need to be your own financial manager, you need to be, everything. You need to invoice people, you need to understand business, marketing yourself, managing clients, all that kind of stuff. And for a lot of people who are creative, they're already very introverted people, and for them, that kind of thing is very overwhelming. Oh, Koala, welcome! How's it going? Damn, I'm excellent, by the way. You don't get how I do this? Oh, Naturals, thank you. I'm really glad you like it. Yeah, totally. You went to school for illustration way back when. Yeah, I can imagine how much it's like, it feels like a bombardment when you go to uni, and people often ask me, did you go to uni to learn art? And to be honest, we actually barely learned anything about creating art and being more, we didn't learn a lot about that. We learned so much more about running a business, invoicing, financing, all that kind of stuff. And even at that, I still feel like we didn't learn enough. Every artist is going to have their own journey. You can't just learn off of someone else and check out what they did and try to follow their path. For everybody, it's different. Partly because every piece of, every art style has a different market. You're either going to be an illustrator for kids, you're going to be a gaming concept artist, or you're going to create cards and have your own niche and whatever, but you can't just look at someone else and follow what they did because, you know, for everybody, it's going to be so different. Yeah, you're pretty good. Just finished a rune art piece, those Scandinavian stones, if I know them. I think so. I think I understand what you're saying. You're welcome to share if you want. Practice since you were a kid because it made you feel good, which has made certain artists just great. Yeah, like, I honestly think that my drawing days when I was a kid taught me so much more than anything I learned at uni. Hi Jason, welcome! You want to be the next Terry Denton? I don't know who that is. This character is cute and creepy at the same time. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ilfat or Fart or whatever. Welcome. Thank you for the follow, Natural Soul. Really appreciate that. Please feel free to, you know, share your art if you'd like to. How come we're getting spammed so much by Streamlabs right now? Like, heaps of things being spammed. From what you've learned about things is talking what you think helps you the most from something and moving to the next objective. Learning something from that before you move on. Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think that's also why it's good not to, like, you know, not to ditch a piece just because it hasn't necessarily turned out the way you want it to. Because you'll learn something in that process, you know, you'll learn a little bit about expressing yourself. So, you know, you'll learn from the mistakes and all that. So sometimes I think it's good to push through, and I feel like Twitch is a really good motivation for that as well. You have to head to bed soon. It's 1 AM. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Go to bed. Get some rest, especially if you have work tomorrow. Share, share, share. Definitely do, Natural Soul, if you'd like to show us some of the art that you make. Happy to have a look. Taking, not talking. It's like, oh, this is great. Okay, next. That's how humans learn. Yeah, and I think especially art tends to be a lot like that. We grab bits and pieces that help us. We really do. Hi, that guy. Welcome. Good morning. Am I from the east of the US? Are you talking to me or are you talking to someone else? Because I have no idea how I sound American. But no, I'm from Australia, so unless you're talking to somebody else, which would make a lot more sense. Oh, the person that was going to bed? I figured. Probably meant you, yeah. I don't sound American. I wouldn't have thought so. I do watch a lot of American movies though, so I think there's got to be, you know, some amount of influence in there. You heard my voice and thought instantly I must be Australian. Well, you know, strangely enough, there's actually been a lot of people who thought that I'm British, and like, you know, I know that I've probably not got the most, you know, stereotypical Australian accent, but I don't think I sound British at all. Like, I would think that British people would listen to me and go, you know, that's not British at all. But yeah, I guess it's just maybe some people aren't as familiar with, you know, the British accent or maybe the Australian accent. I'm not sure. Either or. clear Aussie accent. Surprisingly, it's not been that clear for everybody, so you have a lot of Aussie buddies. You want to visit there? Whereabouts, Dr. Chronic? One of your oldest friends is Aussie, and some of your favourite cosplayers are Aussie, and you have your Google Home set to Sydney. So you're not Australian at all, but you're just like really integrated. You reckon stereotypical Aussie accents are up in Darwin? Yeah, I reckon so. I think especially, like maybe here in Adelaide, it's a little bit different. I know that I hear people from Brisbane and I can sort of guess that they're not from, that they are from Brisbane. Your Australian friend is currently snapping you. What do you mean Snapchatting? You hear me and can tell that I'm especially from South Australia or Adelaide? Okay, right. That's pretty interesting because I've kind of lived all over Australia. I've lived in Brisbane, Perth, Tassie. Well, not lived in Tassie, but I was there for some time. Not a long time though, so I guess it doesn't count. Lived in Melbourne as well, so I don't think that my accent would be like easily associated with any area. Your friends were from Adelaide? Oh, cool. Adelaide is such an awesome place to live. Like, I hated it when we moved here. Which is like, I think it was around 8 years ago that my family moved here. And I was like, yeah, I'm never going to settle down in Adelaide. I don't like it here. I want to go back to Melbourne and either go back to Melbourne or Brisbane. I always thought I'd go back to Brisbane. But yeah, eventually it grew on me. I think it was just like, the frustrating thing at first when we lived here was like, not having access to everything at the stores, like I used to visit so many pet stores and yeah, it's like now I don't miss it. I buy everything online and it doesn't bother me. Like it's just, if you lived in a big city like Melbourne, I guess for a lot of you that's probably not a big city, but yeah, if you've lived there and you move to Adelaide, Adelaide is a lot smaller and a lot of things here are a lot more expensive than, in Melbourne. And it's not as easily available, I think. You don't know, you're used to the accent at this point. And honestly, the other accents sound robotic. Well, like to me, my series sounds robotic in like the Australian accent anyways, though. I used to have mine set to French and it only became a problem because other people would then try to use my GPS system and they wouldn't be able to understand it. So I figured, okay, let's switch back. Let's just keep it in English. You live in the woods on a volcano, so you're happy since you love the woods and the volcanic landscape is great. Yeah, I mean, I think it's lovely the more remote you are. Like now I'm so used to Adelaide, I would die if I lived in Melbourne again. The traffic is crazy. I really don't understand why I missed it. So, I guess it just depends what you're used to, You live in Los Angeles? Okay, so yeah, to you, Adelaide would be tiny, How's the traffic in Los Angeles? You moved from a big city to the woods and you don't want to move back to the city? I bet. I think once you've tasted that, it's really, really hard to move back. You're Aussie, but you can't stand the accent in American films. Seems so off. Really? You know what bothers me more is British accents. Like, not all British accents, but mostly like, I guess their TV shows. I'm a lot more comfortable with American TV shows, probably because I watch a lot of them, so I'm so used to the American accent. Whereas, you know, I'm fine watching British TV shows if it's something like what's his name again? Doctor Strange. I don't mind. I don't mind that. I don't mind, you know, the Sherlock Holmes series as much. But some of those older, I don't know. I think what really got me annoyed was like things like that Heartbeat series. It would always be up in the background, and I don't know. I can't stand it. Never watched it. It just always used to be on. You lived in Sacramento until it was 9? Until you were 9? Okay. You could use some tiny about now. Traffic is in LA is terrible, but you've been inside for the last year nearly. Okay. So you'd rather live somewhere really remote so that you don't have to stay inside as much? Those right hook turns in Melbourne. Oh my goodness, yeah. Like, going into the city in Melbourne would just be like this massive trek. It would just be too much. Whereas in Adelaide, it's like, you know, it's a breeze. It takes you about, what, an hour into the city from where I live, so... Ben Affleck doing a British accent. Someone else, oh, what's her name again? Stranger Things girl. What's her name again? I forgot. Girl who played 11 in Stranger Things. Millie Brown. She actually did, well, what I thought, yeah, Millie Bobby Brown. She did a really good British accent in, what did she play in again? That last movie she did, where she's like Sherlock Holmes' little sister. Her accent is British naturally. Oh, really? I thought it's American. I had no idea. Wow. You're in the country, plains as far as the eye can see. Oh, that's lovely. I think before I got used to buying everything online, living in a small place like Adelaide really got to me a lot more. But now I'm so used to buying everything I want online, so it doesn't really get to me at all, you know? And we're so lucky to have such availability, you know, with delivery services. It's crazy. I mean, when I get a package shipped, literally the postman comes and picks it up at my house, you know? I don't even have to go out, which, you know, during lockdown has also been amazing as well. Didn't even need to stay at home if I wanted to ship something. It gets picked up right at home, which is so convenient. You're from Boston. If I've heard of the Boston accent, Hollywood butchers it all the time. I've never heard it. Like, well, I've probably heard it, but I wouldn't know, you know, what a Boston accent sounds like, so... Enola Holmes? Yeah, that's the one. You laugh when the Brits or New Zealanders do an Aussie English accent. Okay, why's that? New Zealanders wouldn't struggle that much to pull it off, though. Mark Wahlberg, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck all have a Boston accent. They're from the Boston area. It's terrible. Boston, isn't that the accent the mafia guys speak? Can't say I recognize what they sound like, so Leo DiCaprio, Ben Affleck, Mark Wahlberg, and Matt Damon. It's a short list of Boston accenters. Are they like originally from there? Or have they like gotten a diffused accent over time? Need to check out New Zealand sometime. Want to go to Hobbiton movie set? I do too. I want to like, I wish you could actually stay in one of those little places. Didn't they all go to school together? They're from there originally. Okay. Well, I can't say that I know what they sound like, you know, from memory, so I'll have to go check out their interviews or something, you know, see what they sound like. We are so close to done, guys. So close to done. Boston accent is definitely an interesting one. New Yorkers and Long Islanders have a similar one, isn't it? Good question, do they? They sound like toddlers mad at each other. Who's like, what are the two actors that it's Wolverine, so Hugh Jackman, and who's the other one? Guy who plays, man, I'm losing all the names now. The guy who plays that, I'm just gonna explain it because I'm gonna laugh at myself for not remembering him. The guy who plays the character in that black and red outfit, and he's like, he grows back his limbs and everything. What's he called again? How can I forget his name like that? Deadpool. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. So, thank you guys. I knew someone was gonna get it. So yeah, Deadpool, the guy who plays Deadpool, so Ryan Reynolds, and Wolverine, so Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman actually have like hilarious banter with each other. It's so cool. They pretend to hate each other, and I didn't know about this until my boyfriend told me about it. Yeah, the feud, it's hilarious. So I didn't know about it until recently, and I watched videos of it. It's hilarious. You guys have to see it. They have a great bromance. They do. Oh, your wife loves their feud? Who doesn't? I think it's awesome. Oh, you like the Texan accent and the Scottish-Irish accent? I think everybody has a different taste in accents, you know? The American accent must be so easy because every actor does it so easily. I think it's less that the American accent is easy to pull off. I think the more likely thing is that, you know, a lot of people from other countries are very familiar with the American accent because Hollywood sends out so many movies to those countries, so it's like a more commonly heard accent, and I think the more you hear an accent, the more likely you'll be able to pull it off. So it's probably got more to do with that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So like, you know, if I asked you guys to try and emulate a, let's say, Serbian accent, you'd struggle a lot more to pull that off than a French accent, because you hear French accents more commonly, or like, you know, in general people do. So I think that helps. That's probably part of the reason why, the American accent is easier to pull off, because people have to put less effort into learning it. They already have some degree of familiarity with it. Another interesting part is also that there was this lady one time, and she ended up in a coma and woke up and spoke in a French accent. She couldn't speak French at all. She couldn't, she wasn't French. She'd never spoken French. She even couldn't speak French, but she woke up speaking in a French accent. And it had something to do with how the coma switched over things in her brain. But the interesting part was the fact that she had enough of that accent embedded in her memories that she was able to so fully speak it. And I think your brain picks up a lot more than you realize. So I think that's probably why, things like the American accent would be easier to pull off, because people have heard it more, and so yeah, be easier to draw onto those memories. Thank you for the follow, Zeta Boffin. Really appreciate that. Welcome, and feel free to introduce yourself if you'd like to. You remember that? Yeah, it's so weird. You think you heard about her on a Radiolab podcast. I think that's awful, imagine waking up and you have an accent and you can't speak the language, but people think you're from there. That must be so annoying, getting all those questions from your home country, but you've never been there, so... My drawing desk is beautiful, thank you. This is actually, used to be my dad's desk, so yeah, it's now become my art desk, but I love it. Can you have that? You just started to learn French? Well, do you only want the French accent and not actually be able to learn, speak French? Your brain picks up a ton but forgets to let you know? I think that's kind of typical. You tried to mock McDundee and do that accent and try to speak Aussie. Well, he's got a really out there accent, so that would be a tricky one to pull off. So we're definitely nearing the end, guys. We're so close. How many heads in the Hydra hair? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So eight heads. So 8 little snaky friends. Thank you for the follow, protagonist. Really appreciate that. Nice to see it's still in the family. You make furniture in your spare time, but you're a long way off from making something that wonderful. That's so awesome. I would love to see some of the pieces you make. Especially real wood pieces are so gorgeous. Australia does have a lot of great wood. You source a lot of Aussie wood. Oh, in your creative projects, do you? What are the most common wood, kinds of wood you source from here? I think it's just because, Australia's quite big, so it would be easy to grow large areas of trees and stuff. Was 8 a choice, or just filled the hair better? I think in general I like to work with uneven numbers in compositions. When you work with even numbers, in general it sort of it creates symmetry and you know, asymmetry looks a lot better. Does the Medusa actually only have 8 heads, or because I don't know. Red melee pearl mostly, very dense. Okay, right, that's pretty cool. That's definitely pretty cool. So yeah, let me see. Question is, do I start with, you know, do I start with adding the highlights in, or do I keep going adding some more contrast? Because I do think we need to work up a little more contrast, particularly in her head area. I feel like there's some areas that aren't quite, you know, aren't quite standing out enough, probably. When do I finish up school? I've already finished up uni, so that was like 3 years ago, I think? 3 or 4 years ago? So how am I doing with all these morning streams? Definitely there might be a big difference. It's so much better, Dark Guy. It's been a lot easier streaming during daytime. Things are not as crazy and chaotic for sure, and I feel like it's a lot easier to stay consistent as well. So definitely I'll be sticking to the daytime streams. I do want to start them earlier though, so you know, would just be a lot easier, I think, for you guys to make it if I start them a little earlier during the day. But yeah, I'm definitely not going back to going, you know, to nighttime streams, especially not those 6 or 7 a.m. all-nighters that we used to do. Oh my goodness, thank you for cheering those bits, Shauna Allen. She kicks ass. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you like her. Oh, thank you for the follow as well, Bryce. Didn't see that. Really appreciate it. Feel free to introduce yourself. Thank you for following you too, Nazaro. Medusa had 8 also. You didn't know if that was my main reference. To be honest, I didn't mind which one she was. She, you know, she could be one of the other 3, other 2 Gorgons as well. I don't mind her being Medusa in particular. It's just she's the most commonly known one. So, yeah, one of the others have 7 heads instead of 8, then that's probably more fitting. But yeah, I didn't do my research as clearly, so yeah, I just went with what felt like a good composition, I suppose. Artistic license, exactly, yeah. Did I get those new art supplies? Which ones in particular, Dark Guy? Oh, you mean the new watercolor paper? To be honest, I haven't run out yet, so I won't place a new order until I do run out. What I do really want to do is get a nice A3 sheet as well, so I can do some more, you know, larger scale pieces potentially. You know, I did want to do one of my other watercolor pieces on larger paper. Would have been able to retain a lot more detail if I did that, but doesn't matter. We can always redo pieces, you know, they don't turn out right. Not the end of the world. think if I just add some little gouache highlights to, you know, her eyes here and there, that'll probably make this whole thing pop a little bit more. I don't want to go overboard too much with this piece because I feel like I've actually managed the contrast well enough that it's not really necessary. Whereas a lot of other pieces, you know, kind of needs more rectification in general, so there's that. How long have I been streaming for? So in general, I always tell everybody that I streamed a couple years ago, but I only did about 2 or 3 streams, I think. So it wasn't a whole lot. But yeah, I only started streaming regularly and really getting into it September last year, so I think I've been going for about 3 months now. It's probably, yeah, in total, yeah, so about, I would say about 3 months in general. Wow, Dark Guy, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's an incredible help. Thank you. You really shouldn't have. It makes my day. You love this? Summery glows? Thank you so much. It looks finished in your opinion? Yeah, there's not a whole lot that I'm going to keep touching up. You know, I'm just going to add little specks of highlights here and there, but other than that, it's essentially done. Thank you so much again, Dark Guy. It really, really does mean so much, and it's a huge support. So yeah, let us see. I will quickly grab some gouache out. If I can grab it through here. And then we'll just add tiny, tiny little highlights. I won't do a whole lot because, you know, it's not needed in this piece. This piece is already very, very detailed and the contrast is already there in the right places, so not needed at all. But I just want to add a tiny amount over here next to me. So I'm just using normal gouache to go over and add some little highlights here and there. I'll show you guys what I'm planning to do. I look like a celebrity? Really? Which one? I wanted those art supplies and it helps out, so why not? Oh my goodness, Darko, yeah, you've got no idea the amount of things currently on the list that I, you know, am needing to get for art is crazy, and yeah, it's definitely going to be a massive help. I can't explain. Just ate some bread and you think he ate some cat hair. Oh no, well cat hair is protein, right? I don't know. I don't know, that's such a well-balanced diet, so maybe you should hold back on the cat hair for a bit, you know? So yeah, let us see about adding in tiny little highlights to her eyes. I just want to add a little bit, just to bring it back out, you know. You're gonna follow me on Instagram? Oh, thank you. I love when you guys keep in touch on Instagram. Starts to cough up hairball. Oh no. That's no good. So yeah, I just find that, you know, the gouache highlights at the end help balance things out a little bit better. I also prefer it over leaving out certain things when I'm doing the watercolor because I feel like it blends in better. I don't end up with these, you know, white lined out pieces, so I like to go over instead afterwards. That makes sense? And definitely this area needs some more highlights for sure. You think Lily Collins? You have no idea how much I get that. It's crazy. Yeah. I love her movies. I haven't seen a whole lot, but I love the way she acts, so definitely do. And she's a really lovely person as well, so definitely don't mind. You need to get back into art because nothing else keeps you happy. Maybe that is your ticket to happiness. Honestly, I really do think it is, so go for it. If that's what you think makes you happy, I'm sure you will definitely be happy that you did. Because in my case, yeah, when I'm not arting, definitely don't feel happy, so totally understand that feeling. Humans need to be happy. Yeah, of course. I mean, just surviving is not the point. You know, you need to be happy, for sure. Otherwise, what's the purpose, you know? Gotta pursue what you love. You will work full time, but you need a hobby. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and living like for your art in your free time, there's nothing wrong with that at all. You draw for a living and it's okay. Yeah, it doesn't, you know, obviously it's not going to be financially proficient, but I think you're going to have a very rewarding career. Games and exercise don't make you happy anymore? No, that's no good. Thank you for the follow, Summary Glows. Really appreciate that. Evening, Flat Wabbit. How's it going? Thank you so much again for sharing your artwork with us yesterday and for rating us. Really appreciated that. I hope that the bunnies are doing well today. Hope they've all been fed. They're all happy. Really do envy you for having all those cute little things. Our little rabbits got out yesterday actually, and I had just raided Charles, and then my family found out that the rabbits had escaped and we had to try and catch them. Now one of them just voluntarily went back in the cage, but the other one was definitely a lot harder to, you know, to tempt back in, so definitely wasn't easy. You think that Twitch app showed the tip from a while ago? Yeah, it definitely, like, because it didn't show up for me, but Streamlab showed it in the chat, and then, yeah. Who knows, who knows? Got lagged out a little bit there. Yeah, fingers crossed I got it. Well, I'll let you know, Dark Eye, but I'm sure it was all good. At least it showed up, right? It would be awful if it doesn't show up. Thank you so much, though. Keep forgetting where I'm at. Need to give these little snakes some more highlights in their eyes. Kind of think I need to find a brush that's a little bit less fat, but then that one is quite thin already, so I don't know. I don't know if I can find a thinner brush. You make alright money from art? Well, that's fantastic. What do you do, Nazaro? So yeah, that's a little thinner. Let's go with that. Let's see how that works out. What's her name? The drawing? So this is either one of the three Gorgons. We can just go with Medusa, and yeah, she's having a bit of a bad hair day, so she can't get her little snake friends tamed down and brushed out. So yeah, the idea is that she's trying to tell them off and have a bit of a better hair day, hopefully. Is Sonna to you? Well, enjoy all those lovely art materials then, Dr. Koenig. You work in TV animation, you work on cartoons and other things. Oh my goodness, congratulations on that. That is amazing. Sounds fantastic. So happy for you that you could, you know, find something like that available to do creatively. It's so rare to find an opportunity for your art these days. Just adding the little teeth back in. Yeah, it's brutal out here, very competitive. It so is, yeah. And I think, you know, especially because every artist has a different journey and every artist has to find their own way of marketing themselves. It is already extremely difficult. Not only that, but it's also extremely competitive. Love Midnight Gospel and the Family Hour. What is that? Wait, that's the cartoon? Oh, that's the cartoon. Awesome. Are you enjoying that? You've always wanted to voice act for a cartoon? Yeah, imagine making like this cute character come to life. Marketing? You have the marketing ability of a starfish. Well, so like, how do you go about it then? Just post your art? So Nazaro, how did you come across that? Did you apply for the job or how did you get into that? You moved to LA and begged for work, and then eventually you got a chance. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so happy. Clearly you've had to hustle a lot to get in there. That's awesome. This piece looks great. Thank you, Half Noble. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You worked on a show on Adult Swim called Tender. Hey, Dark Guy. You should do more, but not till you feel you're happy with the results. What do you mean? Your paintings are so great already. Unkitty on Cartoon Network, Animals on HBO, Q-Force on Netflix, and some others. Cartoons need better voice actors. Well, why don't you apply then, Dr. Chronic? You know who would make a good voice actor, I think? Charles. He would, like, he's got this way sometimes when he voices certain things that sounds just so authentic to that character's personality. Yeah. Maybe you should do some voice acting? You'd be great, Dark Guy. You would actually be an amazing voice actor, I think. I can totally see you going down that road. All the funny cartoon characters could work. You called Charles your brother from another mother one day, yeah? Oh, he reminds you a lot of yourself? Well, it's great, you know, once you get to find people that you you know, people that you feel comfortable with and people that you feel you really relate to. What a terrible Aussie accent, yeah? Well, you'll have to hop onto Discord voice chat with me one day and give me a bit of a taste and let me know what that sounds like. It would make me laugh. I'd love to hear it. Yeah, definitely. Like one time, just like let me know, and we'll both hop onto Discord, play a game or something. You know, have you got Dead by Daylight? Because I love playing that. Oh, I almost forgot. We got to add the shading down the bottom. And then we're pretty much done, guys. Just got the shading to go, and then we're set to finish her. Almost there. So close. You call that a knife? No, but you could get it? Well, that would be awesome if you could. I don't know what the price is on it at the moment, but I can't imagine it's that expensive. Let me know if you do get it. I haven't actually tried to specifically multiplayer with anyone in that, so don't know how hard it is to, you know, create a lobby with just one person and then have others join in. I'm sure it couldn't be too hard, so you just play Elder Scrolls Online, and even then you don't play that anymore out of boredom. Oh no, that's no good. Well, definitely do try to take up art, like you said, you know. Maybe that's your key to being happy again. Key to having an entertaining hobby. Art is really good for that. That's for sure. Does anybody here play Fallout 76? Because I heard that they just got, they just allowed you to create more than one camp, which is amazing. One of the big reasons I play that game is, you know, the camp building, and so now you can keep your original camp because, you know, it sort of feels like home eventually. You create your own beautiful space, you've had it since day one, since joining the game, and you don't want to change it up. So, but you still want to try and play around with new ideas, so it's real hard, and I feel like I'm really happy that they've now changed that you can now have, you know, multiple camps, and you know, that means that we get to kind of explore different styles in the camps a little bit more. I definitely want to, so I'm very happy that they did it. Well, there we go. Probably finish her up for today because, yeah, I'm happy with all the details that we've got. I'm happy with pretty much everything we've done. So, much more successful painting than last week's watercolor piece. I'm very happy with that. And, yeah, definitely excited to go and smash out more. I'll show you which one I'm working on next. So I haven't decided yet. Probably tomorrow I need to do more work on, you know, the storybook. Need to start another, you know, fully fledged sketch for the next spread. Because we've essentially finished, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is one of my my storybook illustrations that I'm working on, and so this is the left-hand spread. So it's a story about Humpty Dumpty, and it's going to be a full storybook with, you know, words and everything eventually. I'm gonna color it either in Procreate or Watercolour. We'll see. So I did the second page. This page is going to have all the text on this side. So yeah, either we'll work on that tomorrow, or I'll try and do some more work on I'll try to do some more work on my oil painting probably, which is this one over here. So got a lot of refinements to go and finish off in this one, so lots and lots of work that needs to be done. And once I finish off that oil painting, I can start my next one, which will be awesome. So, but yeah, probably next week or maybe on Thursday, I can see about starting this one. So this is my little familiar from last year. So Piggy is her little familiar. So it's another Drawlloween sketch that I did that needs to be done in watercolor. But yeah, I'll get to it either on Thursday or sometime next week, most likely. So got to figure out when I'll fit that one in. But yeah, very, very happy that this one turned out the way that I wanted, because after last week's disaster, yeah, I wasn't too happy. Babe the Pig, yeah. Thank you for the follow, Mellow Thumb. Really appreciate that. How did this Snow White piece turn out? You didn't see the end of it? I'll show you quick. This is how the Snow White piece turned out. I'm not very happy with it. I feel like the background interferes too much with the foreground. So this is what I'm referring to when I call it a disaster, Dr. Chronic. It's just like the background is competing too much with the foreground and the colours aren't muted enough. So the other issue with it is the line work is also really thick and strong. Whereas if I'd done it on a larger scale, for example A3, then it would have turned out a lot better. And that was a bit of a trap that I ended up with when I switched over from the very smooth paper in my sketchbook and I transferred it over to the watercolor paper. It had a little bit more, you know, tooth to it. And so I couldn't get those very, very thin lines. I couldn't get the smooth effect. And because it was already quite small, it became a lot more difficult to get that kind of gentle, very detailed look. So when you look up close, the characters do look quite, you know, you've got quite dark lines, rough edges and everything. You gotta go, no worries, Nazaru. Welcome back next time then. I hope you have a good time. You didn't think it was a disaster? Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's not quite a disaster, but it didn't turn out exactly as gentle and soft as I'd envisioned it. And yeah, I really would love to have another go at this piece, but on actual A3 watercolor paper, and thanks to Dark Guy's donation today, I can actually afford buying A3 watercolor paper because it's quite pricey. So yeah. But yeah, I'm much happier with the muted tones in today's watercolor piece for sure. They're still cute. They are, yeah. And I'm still very happy with it, but it just, to me, lacks that something special. So I wanted to push it to that next level. Thank you, Cyber Thingy, for the follow. Really appreciate it. Good morning, Cyber Raid. I'm so sorry, we're almost done. So I'm just about to start, you know, a raid somewhere. So that's how Charles is. Yeah, I guess so. He argues with himself and then moves on. Yeah, I mean, you gotta let go. You gotta accept that, you know, this is a mistake. And what frustrates me is that I don't know what I've done wrong. I like to know what went wrong. I like to understand that. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to give it another go, but I don't like having a piece that I feel is average. I like to restart the whole thing and know, okay, well, I'm totally happy with this piece. It's definitely gone in the direction that I wanted, so let's have a look. I'll see if there's somebody we can raid. Oh my goodness, I've got just the perfect person that we could raid. Cody Shibby is actually streaming at the moment, and raiding him would be awesome. Walking Zombie, hello, welcome. Please feel free to follow if you'd like to. We're just about to start a raid, so now's a good time if you haven't followed to do so. So let me just see if I can get my keyboard working. But yeah, thanks again so much to all of you guys for just being here, you know, being a part of the stream, keeping me company, having all these amazing chats. Today was awesome. We got to chat about so many different things. I loved it. So yeah, definitely it's been awesome, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Hanging out with all of you tomorrow. Thanks for the stream. No worries, no worries. Thank you for the support, Rune Marigold, for, you know, the gifted subs and subbing and everything. And thank you so much, Dark Guy, for letting me afford that A3 watercolor paper. It's gonna go a long way to helping me do more detailed watercolor pieces, so I really do appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, let us go and raid Cody Shibby. He is currently working on what looks like an older witch of some kind, so yeah, it would be awesome if we could, you know, give him a bit of a raid. So I'll see you guys over there. Next time I'll see you guys tomorrow